Hello everyone, I am Anushka Shinde, a volunteer of Shivi Forensic. Today we'll be discussing a shocking and unforgettable criminal case in Indian history, the Joshi-Abhyankar serial murders. This case is particularly disturbing because the criminals were not hardened criminal or gangsters, but college students. These four young men from Pune were involved in a series of 10 murders between 1976 and 1977. In this presentation, I will take you through how the case unfolded, who the people involved were, and how justice was finally served. Let's begin with a brief introduction to the case. Let me introduce the Joshi-Abhyankar serial murder case. This case involved 10 brutal murders that took place in Pune between January 1976 and March 77. The crimes were committed by four young men, Rajendra Jakkal, Dilip Sutar, Shantaram Jagtap and Munawar Shah. All of them were the students at Abhinav Kala Mahavidyalaya studying commercial art. These students were already known on campus for bad behavior like drinking and robbery. Eventually, their crime escalated to a shocking series of murder. After thorough investigation and trial, all four were found guilty and were hanged on 27 November 1983. This case shocked the nation because it involved educated young youth turning into serial killers, and it raised serious concern about youth behavior and crime at that time. Now, turning on next slide, here are some images that were published in newspaper about the case. Now, let's look at how this case impacted society. First, fear and paranoia. The case created a sense of fear, especially among the human. People become more cautious about their safety and it increased public alertness. Second, judicial reforms. The way the case was handled exposed the flaws in the police and judicial system. This led to calls for better investigation method and reforms in the legal process. Third, impact on mental health. The brutal nature of the case deeply affected the mental health of the victim, family, witness, and even the general public. The emotional trauma stayed for the long time. Fourth, the general based violence awareness. This case highlighted the serious issue of the violence against the human. It encouraged public discussion on human safety and the need for the stronger protection measures. Fifth, legislative changes. Although not directly proven, the case possibly influenced the creation of the new laws or changes in the legal system to handle the serial crimes and protect the human better. Now let's move ahead to timeline that shows the series of crime done by the gang in Pune between 1976 and 1977. It started with a murder and slowly turned into multiple killings. Let's see each incident in order. Starting with 16 January 1976, Prakash Hegde, the first known victim, was Prakash, a classmate of one of the killers. He was kidnapped and forced to write a ransom note. Then they ganged and strangled him before dumping his body in a park lake. This marked the beginning of the gang violent acts. Next, August 1976, Kolhapur attempt. The gang tried to commit another crime in Kolhapur but failed. They targeted a businessman's house that were unsuccessful. These show how the gang was expanding its reach and becoming more daring. Now next, 13 October 1976, Joshi family, a major turning point. Achyut Joshi, his wife Usha and their teenage son Anand were targeted in their own house. The gang tied them up, strangled them and stole valuables. This brutal family murder shocked the public and the media. Next, 22 November 1976, Bafana incident. The gang targeted Yashomata Bafana bungalow, but this time she and her servants found back. The attacker escaped by climbing a barbed wire fence. This incident is notable because it showed the resistance against the criminal. 1st December 1976, Abhyankar family murder. This was one of the most horrifying crime. The gang entered the house of Sanskrit scholar Kashinath Shastri Abhyankar. They killed him, his wife, maid, granddaughter, and grandson after tying them up and stealing valuable. The scale and brutality stunted the society. Now, next 23 March 1977, Anand was looted by a gang member under the prestige of being given a lift. He was taken to a shell strangle and his body was dumped in a river with the weight tied to it. This showed how calculated and cold-blooded the group had become. After the murder of Anil Gogri on 24 March 1977, the police began a serious investigation led by Assistant Commissioner Madhusudasan Hulyakar. What seems like a robbery turned out to be something much more dangerous, a serial killing case. On 24 March 1970, a body was found near the area. The police noticed that the nylon rope used to tie the body were the same as in the earlier murder. At the first, they thought it was a robbery gone wrong, but soon they realized it was the work of the serial killers. The police worked hard to stop more murders. When they questioned the suspect, they gave different stories. One man, Satish Gore, revealed the detail about the another murder. Police found the same kind of rope and knot in all cases. Another person named Suhas Chandrak also confirmed the truth. Finally, the killer were caught on 13th March 1977. After the investigation, the trial began on 15th May 1978. A well-known lawyer, Shamrao G. Samant, led the case as public prosecutor. The trial took place in Pune and lasted over 4 months. On 28th September 1978, the killer were sentenced to death by the judge Vaman Narayan Babat. The Bombay High Court confirmed the sentence on 6 April 1979. Their final appeal to the Supreme Court was rejected on 17 November 1980. After High Court and Supreme Court both rejected their appeal, the accused made a final request to President of India for pardon, but it was denied. All legal options were exhausted. A murky representation was sent to the President, but it was not approved. Finally, on 27 November 1983, all four convicted were hanged at Eravda Jail in Pune. To conclude this case, how our judicial system ensure that justice is delivered even if it takes years from the court proceeding to the final execution. Every legal step was followed and the rule of the law prevailed. This case reminds us of the importance of the evidence and the fair trial in the field of forensic science and criminal justice. Thank you for your time.